Well, welcome everyone to Anaheim, California. What a great venue we have. We have 99 different conference tracks going on. We have one of the largest, if not the largest, exposition with our vendor community in our vendor hall. Our exhibit hall this year, we feature over 265 vendors that are dealing with the latest technology. You have everything from CAD, mobile software, land mobile radio, long-term evolution products. So we're not only meeting the needs for those that are buying products today, but we're also meeting needs for those in the future. We have a block party that will be held on Tuesday night. The President's Dinner, this year we had no problem filling, being in California close to Hollywood, we had a lot of picks. This year we have Taylor Hicks. He holds the record for more votes than any other American Idol contestant. The best advice to give to new attendees is to reach out and meet people, exchange business cards, network. Some of the best professional relationships that you can form happen as a result of the contacts that you're going to make at an APCO International Conference.
What key issues do you see being addressed at this year's conference?
This year we're putting a lot of effort on technology. This past year APCO has pledged, and we've achieved this, to have enhanced working relationships with all of our public safety practitioners. That includes the National Sheriff's Association, International Fire Chiefs Association, and many, many more. Our federal partners include the Federal Communications Commission, Department of Homeland Security, Office of Interoperable Communications, and it has been a fabulous year for us. We have better relationships now than we have in the history of APCO. And our biggest challenges that we have facing us this year is forming those partnerships and coming up with standards. We signed an agreement 2 nights ago with the National Public Safety Telecommunications Council that has put us in a position so that things coming out of NIPSTIC that we jointly agree should become standards, we will take it through our APCO ANSI standards process. This was a big accomplishment for APCO and a big accomplishment for NIPSTIC and for the country. NIPSTIC is made up of all of the associations.
As you look back at this past year as APCO's leader, what do you feel like is the biggest accomplishment with the organization?
We have many accomplishments this last year. First, I'd like to say our biggest accomplishment was consistency management. We have a team that's a board, and there's an executive committee of the board of directors, and we've had a very fast-moving year. We're working with technology, legislative issues, forming consortiums. Our Emerging Technologies Forum this year was beneficial. We held our first one in Washington, D.C., second one in Anaheim, California, and the third one in Rosemont, Illinois. That not only netted us over $100,000, we did a very candid assessment and eliminated some of the smaller programs that were actually costing us money. So we're proud of that. We're proud of our relationship moving forward working with FirstNet. FirstNet is the future of public safety. We're going to have a broadband public safety spectrum that's going to be built for public safety with public safety input. FirstNet has really done a great job very recently in an outreach. They have formed what's called the PSAC, the Public Safety Advisory Committee, and that has put us in position that there is a practitioner from every walk of public safety funneling information through the PSAC into FirstNet. So this is our ground up. We have first responders, we have management, and we have technology that's all being pumped into FirstNet. So they're listening, and the outreach that they have is really providing some good data to build this nationwide public safety broadband network. I also would like to add that, when FirstNet has stood up, one of the clear messages that they have delivered to us is that it's a public safety broadband network that's going to be mission critical data, non-mission critical voice. That's ever so important for us as our public safety constituents are making important decisions to replace their land mobile radio systems. And I guess the message is clear. Land mobile radio systems are not going away. FirstNet is going to augment it, and it's called LTE, long-term evolution, because it's not something that's going to happen overnight.
What issues or challenges do you feel like APCO needs to address next year?
I think as we move into next year, the biggest challenges we're going to fight are going to be consistency. The leadership has agreed that we're going to continue to use consistency management. The things that the president before me started and the things that I've started, incoming President Smith has agreed to continue, as well as the new programs that she wants to introduce. So we've got that forward momentum going and those outreaches and the relationships. But the biggest accomplishment that she can end her year next year with would be dealing with things such as next generation 911, SMS, text to 911. As we look at the future and emerging technologies, the way that we receive video, data, text message, pictures into the 911 center, we're now going to be exporting that data out to the CAD systems so the first responders will be able to use that in the delivery of public safety services.
Now, as you pass the torch on to Gigi, what kind of advice do you want to share for her?
Well, I guess the advice is you got to toughen up and don't mind working the long hours. This year we've had very long hours. We've had an enormous amount of travel, but it's been good. And I think that the best advice I could give Gigi is just continue that momentum and let's go forth and do what's right for public safety. You know, our global alliance has become very strong with us this year. Last year, when we conducted our outreach to the Global Alliance, we had to determine, did we want to shut it down or did we want to keep it going? The term APCO International meant a lot to our executive committee and our board of directors. And we decided that we needed to step up and continue our international relationship. At this conference alone, we have 17 different countries with over 130 public safety practitioners from around the world. Our Global Alliance is actually hosting a World Congress in Singapore, October the 21st through the 23rd. And as I've traveled around the country, one of the things that is very near and dear to me is emerging technologies. As I've been fortunate enough to travel overseas want to know what's going on in North America with LTE. So we're going to move this into Singapore. And we believe that the partnerships that we form with not only the Global Alliance, but the Tetra Critical Communications Association are going to be paramount for success. Partnerships are the only way that we can achieve the things that we need. When we move forward and look at the D block and public safety getting together in unison to agree for a common cause, that's the only reason we were successful. We must continue that trend.